think we've been in the phase for a while, but really didn't want to face it, that these hybrids are already down here among us. I've had people tell me they feel like they've met a hybrid. And I know my colleague Bud Hopkins and David Jacobs both have said that many of their clients have said they have encountered them.
Are they kids? Are they grown-ups? What are they?
Mainly, when they're down here, they're mainly grown-ups trying to adapt to our everyday life. But it's, this is so complex, and there's so much involved in this. But that's why I wanted to, come on tonight and focus on the military cases that I've come across. Because my co-host later, Bob Solis, my friend and colleague, is going to talk about his experience when he was in the Air Force, as you had mentioned to the audience. Mm-hmm. Well, during the course of my practice, I've had people who have been in the military who've also had encounters. And when I was discussing, Bob's experience, and I thought back, oh my gosh, people that I've worked with over the years, I've worked with, oh my gosh, it has to be well over 500 cases. Maybe I'm being, maybe it's close to 700 cases by now. But I had somebody, for instance, come to me, George. He was in the Army. He came to me about 20 years later. He told me, he shared with me that his entire platoon, when they were out on maneuvers, encountered a very strange craft. They had no idea what it was, and they couldn't remember anything after that. But when they returned to the barracks, they had found that many of the men in the platoon had urinated on themselves, had defecated on themselves.
Jeez.
They were crying. They were hysterical. And when this individual came to me in my office and was describing this to me, this had happened 20 years prior, he was hysterical and crying. He is still suffering from PTSD.
Now, do you hypnotically regress these people?
If they're ready, and if I feel that they're at the point in their lives that they're ready to accept what may come forward. Also, what I try to do in these multiple witness cases is get in touch with these other people to find out, what they remember, and possibly if they're ready to regress, be regressed, and see what happened. It's this I found so disturbing because of how upset he was. We did one regression. We've been in the process of locating these other men in his unit, but it goes to show that no matter where you are or who you are, this could happen. I had another general from a foreign country. He encountered with his squadron, as he was flying, a very strange, erratically moving object in the sky. They couldn't catch up to it. And he felt that there was something more to what happened that day. He flew here to the U.S. and asked for me to work with him. And I'll tell you, as I mentioned before, this is a worldwide phenomenon.
It sure is. There's no doubt about that. And I want to talk about more of these cases with you, Yvonne, when we come back. Would you please give us your website?
I am at www.ysmith.com. Ysmith, that's my first initial, last name.com.
Okay, stay with us. Yvonne Smith, our special guest. We're going to continue talking about these incredible cases. We'll also get into hypnotherapy. I want her to explain how she puts these folks under, the types of questions she asks them, and what kind of response that she gets. It's fascinating. And again, she heads up what is called the Close Encounter Resource Organization. And we'll be back with Yvonne in just a moment right here on Coast to Coast AM. Indeed, indeed. With our guest, Yvonne Smith, next hour, Robert Salas joins us. We'll talk about his incredible case while stationed at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. But we'll come right back with more with Yvonne on Coast to Coast AM. And welcome back to Coast. We're with Yvonne Smith as we talk about her work as a hypnotherapist. Tell us your procedure of hypnotherapy. How does this work?
Well, George, when someone comes to me, after I do the initial sending out my packet of information and doing an initial consultation with them, and if I feel they're ready, and many of them are referred to me by their doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, then I set aside about 2 hours for them, and then begin the process of the relaxation. It's just using my voice, and it's just a matter of gaining rapport with each other and trust. And it's, hypnotherapy, even though we discussed that movie, Fourth Kind, hypnotherapy is very, very safe, and it's extremely effective in retrieving hidden memories, in relieving PTSD symptoms. So once we go through that process, I bring them down into a deep level of hypnosis. Then we begin to go into the regression, just taking them back to a particular time in their life. Many times it's back to childhood, because as we know, this phenomenon begins in childhood and follows the person throughout their life.
Yeah, they're targeted, aren't they?
Yes, for whatever reason, once they're targeted or their family is targeted, and because it is intergenerational, it's a family affair, it follows them throughout their life. I wish I could take it away. I wish I could stop their experiences. People ask me, can you stop this? No, I don't have that kind of power, but I'm certainly instrumental in relieving their symptoms and bringing the buried memories to the forefront so that they're able to deal with them. So once they know intellectually what they experienced, then it's not so frightening. Then it does not have such a power hold on them. And this is why I created CERO, Close Encounter Resource Organization, to give people a chance to get together once a month. It's a support group. Everybody gets together. They talk about what happened to them. They talk about their theories. They talk about, what may have happened to their family without feeling that they're going to be ridiculed.
Do they feel violated?
Some do. Many times in the beginning of an experience, because, we did not grow up with, learning and knowing that there were ETs, that there were abduction encounters. I mean, we certainly, back in what we're talking about, maybe during the time of the Roswell crash, in the 50s, there were lots of, sightings of flying saucers and so forth. But as far as something coming down here and taking us out of our environment, we didn't grow up with that. So people, when they realized they were having this experience, or a strange experience, not knowing, they had no way to, to identify what this was. Many people say, I thought it was ghosts. I thought it was, they had no idea. So, of course, once they realized, I didn't give permission to have this done to me. I didn't give permission for them to take skin samples and blood samples and my DNA. They do feel violated in the beginning. Then, later on, and I work with people for many years because it is an ongoing experience, they begin to incorporate this into their lives. Once the memories are brought forward, there is relief, there is healing, and they begin to...
and you see that personality change in a positive way?
I do. Many times, yes. They feel that they've become more spiritual. They feel that they've become more sensitive. Many of them, the people that have undergone this experience, are very psychic. Now, we don't know whether, what came first, the chicken or the egg. I think we're all psychic. I think We all have that ability. I think people that suffer some type of trauma. I work with people who have suffered terrible car accidents, and they were near death and came back and felt, gee, I have this ability that I didn't think I had before. So it opens up something within us. But it's wonderful to see that over the years I'm doing this and people calling me that maybe I haven't seen for a while, saying, thanking me again for helping them through it. And they're able to get on with their lives. So that's this is, number one, I'm a hypnotherapist.
First and foremost.
First and foremost. Number two, I'm a researcher. I never thought in a million years that I was going to write about this and author my first book, but obviously this is my past, and I'm going to continue because there really is a need out there. There's not really nearly enough of us doing this work.
Well, now, you researched UFO phenomenon in the 80s, and you became a hypnotherapist in 1990. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the abductions come first, and then you said, I'm going to be a therapist, or did you want to be a therapist and the abductions came, even though you were studying them before that?
Well, I always wanted to be a therapist. I always wanted to be in the helping profession. But it was really funny. I really attribute this to my mother, who had asked me to attend a conference with her because she wanted to see Bud Hopkins. My mother's the one that showed me the Life magazine article of Betty and Barney Hill's case.
I think it was Look magazine.
Oh, I'm sorry, Look magazine.
Because my mother brought me Look magazine.
Okay, well, see, I came home and she said, look at these people. They had an encounter, and at the time I think they called them flying saucers. But she was instrumental, and my mother, she's a very open-minded woman, as well as my late father. And we attended Bud's lecture. I met him. I was impressed with his work and how he was explaining hypnosis. And
did you know John Mack?
At that time, no, I did not. But I had the honor and the pleasure of traveling with him. And it was a group of us, Bud and David Jacobs and John Carpenter. We all traveled and lectured together.
Oh, sure. John is just now starting to get back in this a little bit.
Oh, good. Oh, we miss him. We need him.
Good guy. I knew him in my Missouri days, and
I see.
Then he got out of it.
He did.
And we talked to him about a year ago. I think he's starting to dabble in it or think about doing it again because he's been away for a long time.
Well, I'll tell you, you try to step away from this for whatever reason. Life happens sometimes. But if you're meant to do this work, it will bring you right back in.
Give me some of your favorite cases. No names, but tell us what happened.
Well, I'll tell you, there's so many. Right now I'm working on a very interesting case, a 3-witness case with Dr. Roger Lear
Good
and
guy.
Jaime Maussan. They brought these witnesses to me. I did hypnosis on 2 of them. We did a implant extraction on one of them, and we are getting in touch with the 3rd witness to do some hypnosis on. And what was coming out of this is really interesting. And I was saying, we've come a long way over the years, but my friend and colleague Roger Lear, with his ANS research, has told me tonight that we have enough information from these implants. I believe it's been maybe 15 extractions now,